Hello and welcome to July 3rd. This is a full moon message for all light workers actually at this time, and anyone that really truly resonates with this message. Anyone that's here already to watch this message, based on the title, then that's a pretty good indication you are a light worker. You are someone who is here to bring a light and love into this world and to expand that so that you can hold space not only for yourself, but also for many others who are needing that space of love and nurturing and compassionate vibration to be held at this time. Lightworkers always have a bit of a challenging life. And the reason why we have challenging lives is because there is a process that we are meant to go through. There is an evolution that we are meant to go through that oftentimes can be very difficult and very tough. However, this learning that we gain and this wisdom that we gain through moving through the challenges really allows us to be able to then navigate challenges in a much easier way and teach that way of navigation to other people as well. So if you identify as someone who is a light worker, if you identify as someone who is here to bring love and joy into this world and to expand this energy of love, then you are definitely at the right place and you need to watch this video today. So there are several things that I want to talk about with regards to this energy and how it's showing up and what it's really asking us, and just the messages that I was personally channeling in at this time and that I was experiencing even over the weekend, the last couple of days leading up to this full moon. So one of the first messages that I received from Spirit that I felt really compelled to share was to call upon light workers to really take action at this time. It is really time for us to align with our mission, align with our soul's purpose, align within ourselves with who we are, so that we can embody this love and really magnify it and put it out into the world in a very unique, special, loving kind of way. So with that being said, it's this shift out of cocoon phase. So we are now, as many of us, of course, went into cocoon phase once the pandemic started, and as we moved through the pandemic in the last 2.5 to 3 years, we certainly were tested and challenged. And I think many of us went through a dark night of the soul period. Many of us went through just a really deep inner work that we had to complete and go through within ourselves to actually align us to the energy that is here right now, in this very moment, and to bring us to this culmination point within ourselves that this full moon in Capricorn is embodying at this time, so that this culmination that is a product of healing. This is a product of your journey, your inner journey that you have been going through gradually through these last 2.5 to 3 years. And it's time for us to kind of end the cocoon phase. So I was getting a strong message to, it's time to come out of hiding. It is time for us to really align with our mission and step up into the mission, wholeheartedly with power. Because just think of everything that you've been through in the last 2 to 3 years and how much that has changed you, how much you have transformed and have become a completely different person from the person that went into the pandemic. And I really truly feel the pandemic was such a blessing for us in such a huge way, because it gave us space, it gave us time, it gave us an opportunity to slow down, to go within ourselves, to reflect upon who we are, where we're at in life. Are we happy with the way our life is going? Are we happy with everything that we are experiencing at this time? And if not, like there was some inner reflection needed about those things that we were not happy about. And there was also this acknowledgement that was required of us to really be honest about the things that were not working for us and the things that we didn't feel aligned to any longer. And I found personally that as we were moving through this period of isolation and as we were moving through this cocoon phase of hermit mode, of just really, reflecting, going within ourselves, kind of staying away from people, not really putting ourselves out there. As we were moving through this, there was this slow and gradual shedding of the old self. So it's like the new paradigm, as it was moving in and as it was lifting us energetically, it was really allowing for a lot to fall away, to be stripped away, that just wasn't serving us any longer, things that were not in alignment with us. A lot of truths were exposed, I think, to us personally, especially if you spent some time doing shadow work and doing inner reflection, then you would have had a lot of personal truths exposed to you for yourself, by spirit, by tuning in and connecting. That's something that I definitely noticed for myself. There was a ton of downloads. There was a lot of clarity. There was a lot of different things that really came in for me in the last 2 to 3 years that shifted my perception in such a massive way that I'm not even the same person. Like, there's just, I view all of life, all of my circumstances, all difficulties with completely new eyes, fresh eyes. And I see all of these situations from a very high perspective now, where I understand that forgiveness is not even necessary, for the people that have hurt me in the past, because there's nothing to forgive. When you see and when you recognize that people that have hurt you in the past, or people even perhaps right now that are continuing to hurt you, when you recognize that they are simply doing that because they are only at a certain level of consciousness, they're at a level that is not in alignment with your level, because they don't see things as clearly as you do, because they don't have that clear vision, that understanding of their own self-love that needs to be cultivated. So when you recognize these things within other people, then you recognize there's truly nothing to forgive. Like, they're just doing them and showing up in the energy that they're able to show up in, and so if they're mistreating you, then think of it this way: they're also mistreating themselves, right? So, wow, there's a fly. So there's not really anything to forgive. It's just, it is what it is, and they are where they are. So that being said, it's such a time to shed those old ways of thinking and shed those old beliefs about how we are not okay, and how we still need to forgive, and how we're, shed the belief that you still have a lot of healing to do, because even that actually can slow down your healing. And as somebody who has done extensive shadow work over the last 2 to 3 years, I realized that, my story for a while was really just like, I'm still in healing mode. I'm still in healing mode. And I didn't give myself permission to recognize how much healing, though, I've actually done, and how far I have actually come. I didn't allow myself to really see that, like, the more I keep telling myself this story that I'm in healing mode, the less I'm acknowledging my actual healing. So it was like, it felt like it was never done. I felt like it was never going to end, and that I just had to keep working on myself and keep working on myself. But that is the cocoon phase, and that was the cocoon phase, and that's what I feel, is now ending at this time. That is what is kind of concluded. It's like a cycle, I feel, that has finished at this time for us, particularly light workers, people that are more in tune and more sensitive to energy. So if you feel like you're kind of done with hiding and done with telling yourself this story that you have to keep healing and that you're still not healed, right? Then I'm here to tell you, like, yeah, actually you are healed, and you have done a tremendous amount of work, and you're good. Like, you should be proud of yourself and start focusing on, I am healed and I feel so wonderful that I am healed, right? And start telling yourself a brand new story when it comes to your own personal healing journey, so that you can shift out of that and start sharing a message, start showing up in the world and putting yourself out there in the world. Because when cocoon phase ends, that means it is time for action. It means it's truly time to come out of hiding, right? And so bring forth what you have learned and share it with other people. What did you learn about yourself while you were in cocoon phase? What kind of experiences did you have? What was your self-worth like? And, what is your self-worth like now? What about self-love and self-care? These are things that we had to actually learn while we were moving through cocoon phase. So, and it was hard. It was hard for a lot of people. It was really challenging because so many of us didn't know how to love ourselves. So many of us had issues with really supporting ourselves. I think a lot of us light workers were in this mindset that, we had to give so selflessly and support others so selflessly and in such a way that it was like kind of to our detriment. And I think a lot of people were in that cycle and in that pattern of constantly, wanting to support other people, but we really didn't know how to support ourselves, not properly and not well enough to keep our cup overflowing, right? So there was a lot of burnout. I felt spiritual burnout was like quite a thing actually throughout the pandemic. Like I felt a lot of people, not just spiritually, but like emotionally and mentally and physically burnt out. There was just a lot of like frayed and fragmented energy at that time, even within myself for sure. And now I see and I feel that fragmentation, it's like all of those broken pieces are now coming together in a really beautiful way and are starting to align. And the more that we focus on this alignment and the fact that we are more healed, the fact that we are in a significantly better place energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically, the more we focus on that, the more you're going to continue moving up the ladder instead of going backwards, or instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, I still have so much work to do on myself, right? So, because at some point you must acknowledge how far you have come. And this is the time, this Capricorn full moon is asking you right now to please acknowledge how far you have come and take a look at yourself with these new eyes and see that you're doing awesome, that you're doing great, and that if you just keep taking it day by day, you're going to make massive progress. As a matter of fact, hard work even is not a thing anymore. So working hard at things it just doesn't work. Energetically is not supported. Instead, we are being asked to manifest and to create a life for ourselves that is truly in balance and in harmony and that feels good every single day. Because then the work doesn't feel like hard work. It just doesn't deplete you. It doesn't make you tired because you're so aligned with it and you're so in flow with it. So share with the world what you have learned over the last 2 to 3 years if you are now ready to come out of cocoon phase. And when I say with the world, this could simply mean, the world at large. So starting that YouTube channel that perhaps you've been feeling nudged internally to start. If it's not necessarily the world at large, then it could just be within your community, showing up in your community in a different way and supporting others and sharing your story and helping others grow within your community based off of what you've learned. And if it's not even necessarily community because you're not feeling necessarily ready for that step, then just within the family, just within your own friend circle, like how can you be more authentic and reveal your truth and who you are now, right now, at this moment? And how can you show up in a way that embodies this new you, this new version of yourself, and just show that. And like, we're all examples for each other. We have to keep this in mind, right? So how I show up in the world is observed by others. And then other people can kind of gauge where they're at, or they can sort of use that, like looking at your life, they can use that information to kind of assess where perhaps they want to go. Maybe you're someone who inspires others to do better, to dress better, to look better, to feel better, to take care of themselves better. Like you just never know how you influence someone else. So please make sure that you understand that you have a positive influence and it needs to be shared. It needs to be put out there. And you just do that authentically by showing up as you are and by embodying this new version of yourself. The other message that I was receiving was about bringing your power to the table. So light workers are truly being called upon at this time to show up and step up in a big way and to bring our light to the world, bring our energy, our abundance, our just the way that we are at this time to really bring that out into the world and share it. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is just taking responsibility for what you have the power to change, and looking at that. So just, can you take responsibility and see what you can change and just work with that. It's no one's being asked to do things beyond their capacity or things that they're not able to do. Spirit is always just asking us to do what you can do. What do you have? What tools? What do you have available to you right now in this very moment? Can you use those and just begin somewhere to put your message out there, to show up in the world, and like I said, to spread and to emulate love into the world. Because as we all know, there is so much upheaval in our world, and that is so necessary at this time. So another message is to get out of your own way. So choose to focus on the love, not the lack of love. It's very important to really acknowledge the love that we have within ourselves, and to use that and to focus upon that. So are you someone that is constantly telling yourself, there's not enough of this, not enough of that? Every single statement or thought of not enough really translates to you not having faith and belief within yourself. Like you don't have faith in your own power and your own capability to change. But that's actually not true, because what it really comes down to is just taking responsibility for the actual power that you do have. And we all have this choice, and it truly is a choice. And I recognized throughout the weekend that there was, certain people that I know that absolutely refuse to take responsibility for their lives, and they play so small and they keep themselves so small because they just don't want to take responsibility. Because taking responsibility means you also need to take action. You also need to move in a way that you didn't move before. And that can be uncomfortable. And that can be something that, it feels too new and too unfamiliar. And a lot of people freeze in their tracks and they're not able to move forward because they are just not willing to take responsibility for their God-given power to change their life. And like I said, you start with what you have. You don't need to go beyond that. You just go with what you have. So get out of your own way. Stop reaffirming that there's not enough love from you to you, or from others to you, and instead start affirming that there is enough love. And you do that by saying, I love that, and fill in the blank. I love that I am so capable of taking care of my responsibilities. I love that I take responsibility for the things that I can change in my life. I love that I get up every single day and I try my best. I love that I am so connected to spirit. I love that I am able to change my life and move in the direction that I desire. I love that I'm creating this beautiful life for myself that feels good and is joyful and is happy and fills my cup. Like these are the kind of statements that you can make, that you can say, that will really shift you in the right direction, and it will put you into this energy of love, which is endless, and we have endless amounts of love within the universe instead of a lack of love, right? And I love that so many people are so supportive of me, or so many people are so supportive of my work. I love that my YouTube channel is doing so great. I love that, fill in the blank, like truly, truly fill in the blank with whatever it is that you want to now redirect your attention to and focus upon. So use this today, particularly. Use this all week, and you can even do like a 30-day I love that kind of affirmation system for yourself, where you say these I love statements every single day for 30 days and just see what happens, and see how much you can shift out of lack consciousness and lack mindset into this hugely abundant and prosperous mindset that comes in actually effortlessly and naturally. Remember, I said hard work isn't going to be a thing anymore. It's just not going to work. So we are now manifesting and learning how to bring things about into our physical reality through just focus. That's what I made videos about this, how your focus is worth gold. It is so incredibly important to acknowledge that where your attention goes is truly what you manifest, and how powerful that is. And that's a gift every single one of us has here at this time on this planet. So why not use it to our best advantage? The other piece was that, or another message that I was receiving this morning was allow the old version of you to leave. So because it's a full moon, it's a completion of a cycle. This is a time to shed our old skin, our old ways of being, our old habits, old ways of thinking, mindset. There's so many things that we have an opportunity to shed today and throughout this week while this full moon portal is open. So focus upon those things that you really desire to shed at this time and that you are ready to release at this time. Because I was feeling this intense energy around, like I'm seeing it in the collective. Like there's this energy of like shedding old skin, and it's so funny and ironic how spirit communicates, because I was out for a walk the other day and I saw an almost fully intact snake skin, just out on at the, like in the grass, where I was walking, and it was kind of caught me off guard, but I was just like so fascinated right away. I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like snakeskin is so symbolic of this needing to shed a layer, right? And it's also incredibly symbolic of renewal, right? So what an incredibly powerful message at this time to shed old layers, to shed our versions that are just completely outdated and not in alignment with 5D consciousness. And that is exactly what is happening. And I feel this collectively. I see it collectively. I feel this within myself. I see it within my clients. There is definitely a shedding of the old and this energy of the new coming in, which is wonderful. So keep that in mind and allow this shedding to happen. So embrace the new version that you can't wait to show the world. Get excited, get pumped up, get proud of this new version that you created over these last 2 to 3 years. And so that you can embody him or her more naturally. So this is definitely a time to just get excited, guys. Like there is genuinely a cycle that is over, a cycle that is finished, and now is the time to embrace the new and allow ourselves to move into the new. So, and you do that by getting excited for the new, right? If you just keep replaying and keep recycling thoughts about the old you and how things were and how hard and blah, 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 and all the fear and everything else, then you're just going to keep getting more of that. Remember, this is a supermoon. This is a manifesting moon. This is an energy that is here to very rapidly bring things into your life that you are focusing upon. So make sure that you are focusing upon the new version, this exciting, awesome version of you who's ready to embrace life wholeheartedly and ready to put themselves out there in big, big ways. So we're done with the whole playing small thing, okay? This is the time to now really step up and start playing big. And you play big inside first, within your mind, within your heart, and you feel it and you align to it. And then it actually shows up in your external world. There's going to be so much evidence showing up for us and helping us to see that we have shifted and changed in a big way. And the last and final message that I want to say about today's energy is there was also this message about inner union of the masculine and the feminine energies. So there's a harmonization that is happening in the collective, and it's happening to more and more people, which is wonderful, that the divine masculine and divine feminine within is coming together and merging at this time. And as they are merging internally within us, the evidence of that externally or just in general in your day to day shows up through peace, through a sense of peace and being at peace with yourself, with your life, with other people. Like I said, forgiveness is not necessary when you understand that people come from always from the level of consciousness that they exist at, that they function at. So you just feel peace and you embody this peace when you are merged with the divine feminine and masculine within yourself. And what spirit was also telling me is that this merging within the self is actually bringing about big unions actually externally as well with divine feminines and divine masculines at this time. So a lot of people are going to be coming together. A lot of coupling is going to be happening. A lot of people, masculines and feminines, will be coming together to join forces. and to fulfill mission together at this time. So there's a beautiful alignment happening that is going to be very evident in our physical world as well. And that alignment can now actually come about because of the fact that we have gone through this process of inner alignment first. So a lot of people, and I explain this to clients, you really can't come into a harmonious union with someone until you have come into a harmonious union within yourself first, because we always attract what we put out energetically. So whatever I'm putting out energetically is what I'm also attracting to myself. So like I said, when you're aligned, the external alignment also shows up for us. And like I said, you know the alignment because you're just at peace. You feel at peace. And you're going to feel particularly at peace actually with people that have hurt you in the past. So that is a really clear indication that you have released, that you have shed the snake skin, that you have shifted, that you have moved to a higher timeline, that you have aligned with a higher consciousness, and you have embodied and have now become that higher consciousness. That is evidence of it, that internal peace. That's where internal peace comes from. It's because you have made peace with many things, because you understand those things more clearly now. You understand why certain things had to happen, why you had to go through certain difficulties, what those difficulties were meant to teach you, and how they were guiding you and pushing you towards growth. That is where that peace comes from and that harmony comes from. So just know that if you are resonating with this message and you're aligning with the things that I'm saying right now, then I'm going to congratulate you and say good job, because you have done the work. And that work is now going to pay off for you in a huge way, huge way. This month, the month of July, this 7th month of this year, opens up the 777 portal, which is this hugely spiritual, hugely expansive, and definitely very much a physical manifestation of the inner work that we have been moving through for the last several years. So congratulate yourself, reward yourself, keep staying in peace and in harmony within yourself. Know that you are now ready to align with your mission. Know that you are ready now to step into union with your divine feminine or divine masculine. And don't worry about genders here or anything like that. This is just truly, you know who your person is. Once you've truly discovered that, once you have figured that out within yourself, you will know if you have met that person already. And if you have not, then this month will be a very auspicious month for a lot of coupling, for a lot of people to be coming together. So those were the messages that I was receiving today for this full moon in the sign of Capricorn at 11 degrees. And I hope and sincerely wish that you connect to yourself, that you resonate with these messages, because that really truly means that you are in alignment. You are in alignment to receive everything that you have been desiring, and it is now here for you and ready to be delivered to you by spirit. So thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you are ready to really hear more messages that are going to uplift you, empower you, and move you in the direction that you know you're supposed to move in. Then definitely subscribe to this channel, because I talk about all kinds of topics that have to do with spirituality and things that really move people forward. It's the process that I've gone through myself, and it is what I am sharing and aligning with my mission and putting out there into the world. So thank you again for watching. I wish you an absolutely beautiful full moon today, and I wish you just a lot of really good energy for this week. And I'm just going to say buckle up, because you are in for a treat and a ride. Take care, guys. I'll see you again in the next one.